So I've been following this property on Hubzu. It is a bank-owned property that is going for auction, and it's 4 days, 1 hour, and 40 minutes left. And so this is an auction that's going to end at noon on Monday. And the current high bid is 126,000. And I was a little bit skeptical of this Hubzu at first. And the reason I was skeptical is this. The bidding on this property started at $105,000. There's only one bid that's been placed on, I guess the day, I think it was open for about a day before someone came in. And the opening bid was $105,000. They came in and bid $126,000. Now that's just strange to me that you would have an opening bid of $105,000 and someone would just come and make a bid for $126,000. That just seems strange to me, but I guess, that's what it's worth to someone. Perhaps, I don't know, this person may or may not be an investor. Now, when I ran the numbers on this property, the top end that I would pay for it would actually be $127,000. And as I read some of the reviews on Hubzu, I saw a lot of comments that talked about how people would make comments about how they would submit the highest bid, but yet not receive the property. And the problem that I think a lot of people are having, and the reason that the reviews that this site gets so many bad reviews, is it seems like the seller sets an unpublished minimum price set by the seller for the property subject to auction marketing. Once the reserve is met, bidding continues through the end of the bidding period. The reserve price is not disclosed. Even if the reserve price is met, the seller reserves the right to refuse a bid. Final acceptance of a bid is expressly subject to the seller's signature on the purchase and sale agreement. So they tell you right here that the seller has the option to just put this property, list this property on Hubzu, send it to the auction, but then they reserve the right that if it doesn't, even if their reserve is met, they still have the right to not sell the property. So a lot of people are giving Hubzu or are blaming Hubzu because they don't get the property, but it's actually it's really dependent so much on the seller. The seller basically controls the property at this point. They can decide how they want to sell it through an auction. As someone showing up at the auction and just bidding, I mean, you're only you're coming in, you're bidding on a property, you're just hoping that the seller will sell it to the highest bidder. So this is not one of those sites where the property must go to the highest bidder. It is not that kind of site. And so I think that's the hiccup that a lot of people get with Hubzu. This is really my first time bidding on a property using this site. But I've been following this one and we'll just see how it goes. And so my strategy is to wait. I'll probably wait until 11 o'clock on Monday, about an hour before the bid closes, and then I'll come in. If this doesn't change, I'll put my 127 bid in. They only let you bid in increase increments of 1,000 on this one. They don't let you change it. I think they said that you have to, I think I read somewhere on the site where it says that you have to do the bid in $500 increments. And so I'll probably just come in. Actually, they won't even let you do 126, 500. Let's see, will they let that stand? Oops, minimum bid is 127. So different properties will have different bid increments. So they want you to, this particular property, they want you to actually bid in increments of 1,000. And so that's just what you have to do if you want to place a bid. And you get a description of the property, tour the property, you get the access code, the property details are all here. The fees, the earnest money deposit. Now, there's a couple of ways you could think about this now. The earnest money deposit is going to be the lesser of 3% of the bid amount or $15,000, the lesser. And so 3% um, 6,000. We're talking about what would that be? 3% of 127,000. Let's see what that would be. 0.03 times 3%. The lesser of 3% of bid amount, or 15,000. So you're talking about 127,000 times 3%. 1% would be 12,700. So no, 10% would be 12,700. So 1%. Okay. So you're only looking at 0.03. So you're only looking at an earnest money deposit of about $4,000. Earnest money deposit lesser of 3% of bid amount, or 15,000. So you'll be looking at an earnest money deposit of only like $3,800 to bid on this house. And once you get control of the property, you can get the financing. I think some of the financing terms I looked at were I think 5.95 for hard money, 5.95 with maybe 2 points. And so, it's got your calculators here to figure out your average value market, automated value method of 200,000. But when I ran the comps on this property, it actually came out to be about $240,000 to that $260,000 range. If you list it at the top of the market, you're talking about somewhere around $263,000. But one of the other things to consider, though, is when you're dealing with a property like this, and this property has a swimming pool. You can see the railing to the swimming pool here. Hard money, people who lend hard money don't typically tend to lend money for luxury things like swimming pools. And so, with a property like this, I would probably just get into it, fix it up. In terms of the swimming pool, I would probably just let the new owner do the swimming pool, let them decide if they want to do a tile line, if they want to line the inside of the pool with tile, or if they would rather just use a pool liner, if they want to do chlorine or salt water. Those are all things that I would leave for the new owner. So I would just fix up the property, do the landscaping, and just leave the pool covered. I wouldn't try to repair the pool in this case. I would just leave that for the homeowner, and maybe take maybe 10 grand off of the sales price, just to leave something for them, leave a budget for them to repair the pool. So, whatever the top of the market would be for this type of property, I think in this case it was $260,000. I would plan to list this property for $250,000, and leave that 10% for the seller to do whatever they want to do to the swimming pool. So I'm going to continue to follow this. I do have every intention of bidding on this property once the bid gets a little bit closer to the end. And so we'll just see. All right, guys, I'll keep you updated.